Welcome to my digital story, or as I guess you could call it, my digital marathon. My whole life, I've always been told the phrase, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But for me, both literally and metaphorically, I guess it's sort of been a little bit of both. You see, thanks to this guy right here, sports have always been a big part of my life. My dad played D1 college football at the University of South Carolina, so we grew up watching lots of football. And in terms of my brother and me, it was pretty much predestined that we would become athletes. We started out in softball and baseball, then on to soccer, which definitely proved to be a favorite for me. But after several years in team sports, I realized that the sport I loved wasn't what some even consider a sport at all. I love to run. It pretty much started with my elementary school running club, pictured here, which met twice a week throughout the spring, right before school. The club was meant to help encourage kids to participate in our town's charity 5K road race, which took place every June. While most kids were forced into the club by their parents, I was that one weirdo who actually loved it enough to go out and run on my own. Yep, I actually went out and ran on my own. But you see, to understand my running obsession, you also should understand me as a child. A free-spirited, sometimes too hyper kid whose brain probably looked something like this. So, not surprisingly, this came a little bit more naturally than this. I mean, come on. Does this girl really look like she can sit still for very long? Fast forward to my days at Foxborough High School, and I was still an avid runner, but didn't consider it to be my sport. After being pulled up to the varsity soccer team, only to spend an entire season on the bench, I was discouraged and thought maybe I was done with being an athlete. Until a family friend, who also happened to be one of my school's cross-country coaches, asked if I'd ever considered running competitively. To be honest, I hadn't. But after seeing me run in road races across town, she thought maybe I had a shot. So, I decided to take a leap of faith. I quit the soccer team the following season to pursue cross-country instead, and I never looked back. After the first couple meets, I made my way to the second best runner on the girls' team, and was more motivated and excited about a sport than I had been in as long as I could remember. I even was featured in my town's newspaper for my accomplishments. Yes, in this digital era, people, believe it or not, do still read the news. And this was a page I so hoped my stupid soccer coach would hopefully read. From that point on, my life somewhat revolved around running. I quit every other group sport, and instead opted to focus on cross-country in the fall and track and field during the winter and spring. My senior year, I was lucky enough to be named as a captain of the cross-country team, a huge accolade, but also super cool because I got this life-size poster of myself. Also that year, I had my best season to date on the track. In a meet against our rival, Sharon High School, I ran my fastest mile time of 5 minutes and 41 seconds, helping to not only win the meet, but to later clinch the division title. They don't call it a runner's high for nothing. Though my high school running days have since passed, running is still a large part of my life today. I still have my bibs from every race I've ever competed in, something of high appraisal to me. I've also tried to use running as a way to give back, and now I'm a member of Team PRF, a running team that raises money for progeria, a rare disease that causes rapid aging, and that unfortunately took the life of one of my high school classmates during our junior year. Team PRF participates in the Falmouth Road Race each year, a 7-mile trek throughout Cape Cod. And thanks to the stickiness of Facebook, I've helped to raise over $3,000 for progeria research by posting a link to donate online, and through the help of the infamous share button, which helped make my fundraising so spreadable. So even though I don't get to compete anymore, getting to give back while also doing something I love is just as fulfilling. I've even carried my love of running all the way to Tampa, as with all the awesome spots to run down here, how can you not? I I've also taken up quite the collection in running a tire. And while I do miss being a triathlete, as well as my mile time, getting to run down here every day certainly doesn't suck.
See right behind me is where now I get to run every single day. Pretty sick. Probably going to listen to some Flume while I run. Dr. Firestone, I know you aren't a big fan, but I actually love to listen to him while I run. Alright, yeah, see you guys later.